Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Simplified, a show that explains intense topic from around the world and simplifies it for you so that you can appear cooler in front of your friends.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello everyone, this is the TFG Indian Football Podcast, and joining me in the studio as usual is Kevin, and joining us via phone call is Chiranjeet. Now, we know what's coming, it's the weekend, and we know what's on Sunday. It's the Federation Cup final, between Mohun Bagan and Bengaluru FC. Yes, once again. They just keep meeting each other every time these days. I should say in the recent past, to be precise. Now, before we talk about that, there are a few things that have emerged again from, of course, Mohun Bagan. Now, the Mohun Bagan president, Mr. Tutu Basu, has all put down all the rubbish, all the speculation that's going on that there is no sponsorship deal with Tata Group. That's what he's been come out and said. To quote him is like, there is no deal with Tata. We'll see what happens. Now, Chiranjeet, what do you talk about that? What's all this?
Yeah, well, it can mean a lot of things, but what we are hearing is that the deal was being negotiated, but Tata wanted Mohun Bagan to play out of Ranchi for these 2 years when ATK had, they will have exclusivity over Kolkata. So Mohun Bagan want to solve that issue, get around it, and a lot of stuff may be done on that front, but apparently Tata wanted just them to move to Ranchi for 2 years, which they did not want. Maybe that is the case. Maybe something else is happening. Maybe Tutu Basu coming out and saying that the Tata deal is not happening is again another pressure tactic. And maybe they will do an about face in 2 days' time or whatever it is. It's all very confusing, and everybody's keeping everything under wrap. So we'll have to see what happens. He has also said that on Monday there will be a press conference where Mohun Bagan will talk about ISL, and it's also interesting because the meeting is that on that day, right? Yeah. But Tutu Basu used the word that I will sing to you all the songs. Basically, that's what he said. So everything should be revealed either way. So all the questions that we are having right now, all the confusion, should be answered, because in the end, however these two, the leagues function, I-League, ISL, a lot will depend on whether or not Mohun Bagan decide to go into ISL. So we'll just have to wait and see for another couple of days. But seriously, I'm not really even worried about that. I just want to get hyped about the Federation Cup final right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's just keep everything aside and talk about that, because that's the big thing that's coming up on Sunday. It's another great match, the defending champions versus, I think Bengaluru won it in their first season, the Federation Cup.
Second season.
Second season, yeah. So this will be, them raring to go out and win a title, because they, they didn't perform well in the I-League. So, but on the other hand, even Mohun Bagan has something to win here, because they missed out on the I-League title by a point.
They're the defending champions.
Yeah, and it's all interesting because this all pumps up for a great Sunday evening. Now, Kevin, thoughts on the match, please?
Yeah, both teams have everything to play for, especially Mohun Bagan. They've not got the priority right, and that's what hurt them towards the end of the season. And this is their last chance to get something. And of course, they are the defending champions. They look strong. Talking about Bengaluru, okay, for them, domestic title was always required, because they are a team that has come up in a short span of time and seen a lot of success, even domestic and also on the continental level. So for them, it's also something to take forward into the next season. That if you do not have something on the domestic side, it really puts you, it only makes you half as good. So if you can perform well at the continental level and you do not perform at your home and domestic level, it starts to put out questions. Say, can you not concentrate on both the domestic and your continental as well? So pressure is there on both sides. It's more who wants it. Again, I would come back to that point. Who wants it more will put out everything that they have in their bag. It's going to be tight. No team is going to let out, because it's not a home and away format. It's just one knockout. It might even go to the penalties. That tight a game it looks for. for taking. On the technical side, I see Mohun Bagan as a well-rested side because there is something always to play for in the AFC Cup for Bengaluru. But on the other side, Mohun Bagan have already lost it. They are out, and the only dent that they could give to Bengaluru was that last defeat that they gave them at their home ground. So it's again coming back to how the teams are going to approach. None of them would want to concede first.
Yeah.
Because it's just 90 minutes and then you go on to extra time. And knowing the weather in Cuttack, it's not going to be easy to play for 120 minutes. So conceding first will really have the other team on the backs, and they will have to go all out. And that's not easy at Cuttack.
Right.
So the pressure will be to back up your defense and play as much as possible on counter-attacks. And if Bengaluru are to stop Mohun Bagan using the wings, they do a lot.
Yeah.
Because they can exploit wings like anything. And if Mohun Bagan have to stop Bengaluru, they would have to back up their midfield. Because when you give them space in the central of the field, they can be lethal. And we've seen how long ranges are coming by for Bengaluru.
Right.
So that's all. That's what I feel, because it's something that I really look forward to as a final.
Yeah.
And it might not be there next year. It might be renamed to something else. And I feel these are the best two teams that have got to the final. And it's going to be that way till the end.
Yeah. Now, we know that Chetri won't be there, and we saw how the kind of a pace was slowed down when they played Aizawl. Yes, Aizawl did give their best to come in the second half, but how do you think they can give that a fight? Your captain who leads you from the front, even though he doesn't wear the armband, but he still leads you from the front. So what do you think? How do you think that might play around? Probably against them. Do you think that
they
way?
will definitely miss a leader on the field, and Sunil Chetri not just being the leader per captain's namesake. He's stepped up when it's required. He's risen to the occasion, and he gets in the goals.
Yeah.
So that will be missed because it's a high pressure game, and you require somebody to be calm in front of goal,
right,
which Sunil Chetri can do very well. So that experience will be lacking for Bengaluru, but they rely on their strength of defense. They play the 3-man defense, but I'm not sure they will start off with that same formation. It's mostly going to be 3-1 in defense, where you might have somebody who will be just guarding the defense all the time. So it's tough to play, defensive against Mohun Bagan.
I think, don't you think if I say there's something like looking at both the teams, would it be right to say that it is proper man versus man? When Bengaluru, Mohun Bagan, now if you look at the team sheet and look at the players and you place them, you're like, that's great. It's going to be a great battle if you go for a goalkeeper's side, Amrinder versus Devjit. And then you see the defense line where this side you have Anas if you have to pick one name. Here you have Johnson if you have to pick one name. And then come to the mid and the wings. That's where your eyes will be, Bengaluru's Flash, Udanta Singh that takes up the run. And here you have both Katsumi and Norde doing their bit. And it's all crazy out there, So this does look like a great finale where the two teams that look a par to par. You can't really pick a winner, can you?
Absolutely. It's perfectly put by you that these two teams, if you compare them on paper, if you look at their strengths, they are at the same level. There's no distinguishing that one is ahead of the other. That's what that's why the final becomes so interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's not a whole lot of injuries that can concern Bengaluru FC or Mohun Bagan. They've got almost the best side. Even if you say a weak link in the Mohun Bagan defense, that if I have to pick, it would be Eduardo. He does make up. The Mohun Bagan defense does make up with Anas being there for them.
Yeah.
So the same way, Harmanjot Khabra, he's been given different roles this time.
Yeah.
He has really shown that his capability, his versatility is there. So it's a mix of both an attack, a defense, and a balance side from both sides. So for me, it's really difficult to pick a winner over here. and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be physical. It's going to be fast.
Yeah, aggressive, all those sorts. Now a perfect final. Now we have FNI on the show. Chiranjit is in conversation with FNI, who speaks about, of course, the Federation Cup, and also they delve into a bit of AFC Cup matches as well, and what does that mean, and where Bengaluru stand chance in that. Now let's head on with that conversation.
All right, so I'm here with FNI. He's joining us over phone all the way from Bengaluru, and I'm pretty sure he's a little bit intimidated after the performance put on by Mohan Bagan in the AFC Cup match.
Yeah, I mean, yes, actually, I mean, they did. I mean, I watched a bit of the match actually. The stream was not great, so I mean, like always, a struggle for an Indian football fan to catch a match. So I watched a little bit of that. Bagan, in fact, played quite well, is what I felt. And obviously, that I mean, both teams, put out a patchy lineup and things like that. I mean, so sort of, but Bagan had an upper hand in the game, and they did play quite well, is what I felt. And I think foreigners not being there in the defense for Bangalore also kind of exposed them.
So it seemed like all that talk we heard about how Mohan Bagan played their B side in AFC Cup matches before this, and suddenly they were fielding a side which had more match experience in the past few weeks or months than the side that Bengaluru FC fielded. Do you think that played a factor? That suddenly, Mohan Bagan had a bench which had more match time in their pocket than Bengaluru FC.
Yeah, it's kind of an irony, right? But but that also I think kind of helped. Yeah. And otherwise, also I feel, I mean, even though probably the Bagan squad depth isn't probably that great, but whatever players they have is pretty good. I mean, and I held the same opinion last time also. Bagan probably had a better squad than BSC. And if, everything went in favor of them, they had a good chance of progressing in AFC Cup last time also. But I think circumstances don't favor the.
So basically, we if we can take that match as a prelude, although I'm not sure if it will be fair because both the teams will play vastly different squads in the Federation Cup final. Is there a mental impact of losing to a team like that 3-4 days before you're going to play them in the cup final game?
I think it will certainly be there. So one of the major things with PFC that has happened this season, I mean, or rather in the beginning of this season, is that after their great campaign in AFC, they came with a lot of confidence. And I mean, I think I've told this before also in the podcast. I mean, they came with a lot of confidence. And it kind of got derailed after a couple of matches.
Yeah.
And I think that had a huge impact on the mental side of, or the mental profile of the team.
Yeah.
And that quite continued for a long while, and they took a lot of time to recover. I mean, in the end part, I guess they kind of, recovered from that rut.
Yeah.
But till then, I mean, that middle part of I-League, I think the team really had that problem. Things were not going in favor of the team. They were not converting chances. It all looked like a problem of confidence and a mental, problem, or rather something in their head, kind of an issue. So I think, it's going to play a part, I guess. But as I said, off late in the last phase of I-League and somewhat in the Federation Cup, BSC has played pretty good.
Yeah.
They have stuck to their style, and they've started getting those goals, which is like kind of evading them for some time. So I guess, yeah, it's gonna, it's gonna affect, but I guess the team kind of has overcome that phase, so they're gonna put up a decent fight, is what I feel.
But again, you have the injury situations happening here and there. Sunil Chetri is going to be a major miss in the final, right? He's off with that injury.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, do you think the season is finally getting onto the players? And I'm talking about both Mohun Bagan and Bengaluru FC. Such a long season. Players have been playing in ISL before that, and it just seems like everybody has out there has made at least almost 40 appearances by now, and it's getting to them finally.
Yeah, I mean certainly, because and then we have this great idea by AIFF to stage this Federation Cup in Qatar, where it's like 40 degrees Celsius and things like that, make teams play like in 6 days, 4 matches and things like that. So I think it is like it is a very, very bad decision, especially at the end of the season, Federation Cup, when it is happening in a very short schedule and things like that. So yeah, for both teams, I guess this is a problem, and we saw the injury for Sunil Chetri, which is like a muscle injury. Probably it's because of overstraining and things like that we get those kind of injuries. So yeah, I think it is probably affecting the teams, and we also saw the last league match where both teams were like pretty off color when they were playing. So definitely this is playing a role in the way teams are playing right now, and I hope the small gap that they're going to get between the semi-final and the final. In between there was a AFC Cup, but majority of the spot was rested by both teams.
Yeah.
So I guess probably they had some time to get some rest and have a breather, So we'll hopefully we'll hopefully get to see a good match on the final.
Yeah, it seems to me that this will be the first time since we saw Mohun Bagan play Bengaluru FC in the I League at home in Rabindra Sarovar. Since that game, a lot of the Bengaluru FC players were rested, right? And after that, when they played, there was the group stage match, which was a draw. So it was a sort of a restrained performance, right? So do you get the feeling that Bengaluru FC and Mohun Bagan are playing each other so often? They're gonna play each other for the 6th time this season.
Yeah.
It's literally the biggest and most commonly fought big rivalry that we have in Indian football right now. 6 matches. So far, do you feel like that the force of these matches has been somewhat restrained because for some reason or the other they held back, and all that had been building up towards this one giant outburst, which will be the Federation Cup final?
Yeah, I think it's going to be it's like very important for both the teams, right? I mean, the next season's AFC Cup or the AFC competition berth is going to solely rely on this match. So I think, and as we know, Bangalore has been putting a lot of emphasis on their performance in Asian level. Yeah. So I guess this is going to be one of those crucial matches. I mean, I would say probably the biggest match. Bangalore FC is going to play in this season so that their future is secure in terms of having a berth in AFC Cup. So, and I guess it is also going to be very important for the future of the manager also, even though the team has started doing pretty well. And I guess like a lot will depend upon this result for him as well, where his future, and for the same for Bagan as well, because they're a big team in India. They always want to play in Asia, even though people keep accusing them of not filling the right squad and things like that. I think the aspiration for both these teams are the same. I mean, that is to play at the highest level in Asia. Rather, whatever is achievable for them in terms of not AFC Champions League I'm talking about. I'm talking about the AFC Cup. But I guess it's the target for both the teams. And they would want to do that. So I guess a lot is going to, a lot's at stake for this match for both teams. And I guess we are going to see a cracker of a match. Either it's going to be a full-on cracker of a match, or we're going to see a very, cagey display and trying to mix that winner kind of an approach. But I hope it really isn't that way, because both teams have good attacking options. They have good attacking players. Both teams have the capability to play good football with flair. So. Yeah, I guess I
just despite me not trying to make the connection, I can't help but compare this match to that one that happened in Kantirawa, which was also a game with a trophy in stake, right? The I-League title decider. So that was the last time when Mohun Bagan and Bengaluru FC faced, and a top trophy was literally up for grabs. It felt like a cup final, right? It wasn't.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
So now we have literally a cup final for the first time. Mohun Bagan and Bengaluru FC are playing in a cup final. So a lot of the players who are playing today were also there, and maybe their playing style has also not changed that much since then. I mean, Ashley Westwood obviously had a different fervor. But do you think it could be the same kind of nervous display and a lot of chances missed, a lot of fouls, and something that goes down to the wire? A similar kind of a match that we can expect on Sunday?
I mean, in terms of the kind of intensity and the kind of stage that is set, I guess, yes, probably we will witness something of that sort. But I guess... as a football fan, I guess I hope that we'll get to see some goals. We get to see some attacking football and things like that. So, in terms of the contest that you said, I guess, yes, it is almost as good as what that final match or the final league match that happened in Kantirawa the last season. Yeah.
2 years ago, I think we have had it was in May. It was May. It was 31st May. It was again the last match of the season. Here, it's almost the last match of the season. We have an AFC Cup game, but again, it's a conclusion of the domestic season, isn't it?
Yes.
So it seems like there's going to be another fated encounter between these two teams, but. Has in some way this rivalry that we have seen, for the first time, Mohun Bagan and Bengaluru FC as domestic rivals were playing in an international stage, right? And they were sort of, people actually expected them to showcase India's football in a way that would sort of wow everybody, that this is what India is producing. And this is what's happening at the international stage. Do you think that's been a letdown so far? Because Bengaluru FC went and lost to Abahani, and Mohun Bagan consistently underperformed in the AFC Cup level.
See, I think this has to be put in perspective with what how things are managed in terms of the kind of schedule, the season, and all those things that are happening there. And I think one of the major gripes that I have when people accuse Mohun Bagan of fielding an under strength team in AFC Cup, there are priorities for teams. I mean, people prioritize over which cup they want to win and what they want to do. So their priority is I League. I mean, there is nothing wrong in doing that. And what is forcing them to prioritize that is because, you have a disruptive, tournament which has a bigger financial muscle trying to, price away your players. And you're not able to keep that. These are all problems. I mean, like a lot of others. I mean, these kind of financial issues and things. A lot of others in I-League also face. Apart from like probably a team with a solid corporate backing like Bangalore FC, and that is what exactly helped them also last time. Like they were able to, despite ISL being there, they were able to put their foot down, keep their players.
Yeah.
And go all the way to this. So that was on the Bagan front. And on the BFC front, I've been losing to Abani, who was a bit of a, blot on what exactly they achieved last time. I mean, I really didn't expect that kind of result from BFC.
Yeah.
But then again, we have to also take into account that South Asian football, even though probably is not as good as financially as good as India and things like that, I think Bangladeshi football is pretty decent, because if you see like Sony Nordic came from Bangladesh, Wedson came from there, all these players coming, so they have a good scouting network, they have decent players. Players coming there and playing. Now a Welsh under 21 player is playing for Abani, the Jonathan Brown guy. I heard he's going to be released soon. But so the teams are not exactly, I mean, these teams playing against them is not a cakewalk. We know that, especially like even if the Indian team that is probably the best 11 according to the coach playing, and Nepal wouldn't be a cakewalk even now. I mean, it is not. Even for that matter, playing against Maldives is also not going to be very easy. And there, I guess, in Maldives, we have teams have good backing and decent league. Everything is going on over there as well. So if you put into perspective the kind of growth that our football and their football is happening, I think the level, probably in terms of financial and the marketing perspective, especially with ISL, it's probably on a very higher scale. But on when you're playing with them with three foreigners, especially the I-League sides, I think you are almost on an equal platform fighting with them. And Bangladeshi teams, as I was discussing with you earlier, like when we were having an off-hand chat, they seem to have a decent scouting network. They bring players, good players, and so that makes quite a bit of difference, right? I mean, like when you have those kind of quality foreigners and players.
The thing is, like, even if you have ISL teams, going out in AFC Cup at some point, which probably will be a reality soon, I don't really see that much of a difference, because they will have to play just 4 foreigners. They will not have that kind of,
I'm waiting for that day.
They're not gonna have like 6+3 foreigners in every match. So it should put things into perspective in terms of where the strength lies and how much difference there is in quality. So we're gonna obviously come back to the Mohun Bagan versus Bengaluru FC Federation Cup final. Could this be, the redeemer of all battles? With Mohun Bagan going out full force, Bengaluru FC having so much to lose, and so many people, fans also turning up. A lot of people will travel from Kolkata. They're already traveling as we speak, I think, and a huge chunk of fans will come from West Block Blues as well, I'm hearing.
That's what even I heard. Like some of the fans are going to turn up from Bangalore as well. I think as we were talking earlier, lots at stake now. So everybody's like looking forward to this match, because like since they were the finalists last time. Missing out on that AFC competition berth is going to be a big blow for Bangalore FC and their ambitions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everybody is going to go all out. I think fans will be charged up to back their team, and same with, Mohan Bagan did see good number of support for the semi-final match as well. So, I think, yeah, as you said, fans are going to come down, make their voice heard for Bagan as well. So, this is going to be a very exciting clash, definitely.
Yeah, and also in historical perspective, this could be the last Federation Cup match ever. This thing has been around since before my birth. This used to be the tournament to win, to become the actual champions of India before the league came along. We didn't have a national league. This was it. You had to win the Federation Cup to be the best. So again, obviously they're gonna fight for the title of India's best as far as cup tournaments go. And what's your prediction then?
So I'm hoping that Bangalore is going to go all out and win this because, as I was telling, that lots at stake for them. So I'm expecting a 2-1 win for Bangalore.
So you think who's going to step up and fill Sunil Setri's shoes? Cornel Glenn?
So yesterday, Len Donnell scored a good goal.
Yeah.
So I think that will make him a contender for a place in the first 11. And then there is obviously Vinny as well. His scoring has not been up to the mark in the later part of the season, but I think he's another player who loves that kind of a challenge, kind of a situation, that particular stage, and he likes to excel. So there are players, and obviously I think, Len Donnell scored a goal yesterday, so he's going to be a contender for one of those forward roles in the final one. Then there is Vinny. Even though his scoring has not been up to the mark in the...
And he lost his job.
Yeah, he lost his job as well. Has not been up to the mark in the later part of the season, but I think he's somebody who revels in this kind of stage. He allows those challenges, big matches and things like that. So I think he's also going to step up. And both teams have good experience. In the sense, with the new addition in Bangalore FC, like Habra, Lenny, one thing that has done to the side is that all of them have been in the circuit for a long time. Then there is Sandesh. So all these people, so that has added some vital experience to the side for Bangalore FC. So that is also coming up. That's also going to be helpful for the team, is what I think. The same is the case with Bagan as well. But but I think because there is a lot at stake for Bangalore FC from this match, I think they are going to go all out and get that result.
Well, yeah, that and Sandesh Jingan will probably never play a cup final for Bengaluru FC again. So he's also going to try to get a silverware for his season. And I think it'll be his first major trophy. I don't think he has ever won a trophy in the major level before. Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, so that's going to be there as well. But Mohan Bagan also, you say Bengaluru FC have a lot more at stake. I think stakes are even higher for Mohan Bagan because they are facing a situation. It's still not sure whether they will make it to the ISL. Still everything is up for grabs. The players don't know how many of them will remain next season, how many of them will go into a draft maybe, whether the foreigners will stay. Many of them will obviously go. So this is again a final opportunity for them to make a name for themselves, get their name in history.
True.
Yeah, so it's everything is up for grabs, and it seems like a final chapter of a long story in so many ways. So many matches that these two teams have played. There's this huge history of Federation Cup that's coming to an end. Maybe the two teams will look very different next season. Maybe the leagues they play in will be different, and it's just so much seems to be just pent up and waiting to come out in this one match. So
I agree.
We'll see how this comes out and how this story plays out and reaches its ending. Thank you, FNI, for talking to us once again. We will definitely want to hear from you once the match is over.
Yep, sure. It's a pleasure talking to you, man.
Yeah, hopefully Mohun Bagan once again come out winner as they did back in 2015, because that's what usually happens when these two guys are going for a trophy. Usually Mohun
Okay, I give it Chiranjit.
Hopefully, yeah. So, all right. Thanks again for talking to us, and let's enjoy the match.
Bye.
Well, you heard that, and I mean, when you hear a Bengaluru FC fan and a Mohun Bagan fan talk to each other, talking about the final where both the teams are involved, and there's a lot in taking, it always ends up in a banter. It's never a discussion. You say, okay, we have neutral fans, or we are just neutral people, pundits talking about football just because we know a lot. No, it never happens. The true fan comes out, and that's what you just heard. I ended the discussion with. Now, I hope you enjoyed the show. We had everything. Today was all about Fed Cup. We had to do that because it's a big game coming up on Sunday evening. Now, if you're listening to our show on YouTube, hit the like, share, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon to get updates of a new episode. Keep the comments coming. We are loving the discussions happening. And if you can also catch us on Twitter. I saw one of the podcasts, and there were one comment said that he appreciated us, and we appreciate that back to you. Thank you for the lovely words. He also told us that he wanted to get in touch with us on Twitter. And he wanted us to be precise over our Twitter handles. So I think I'm going to be very clear about it. For Kevin, it's Boza_Kevin. Chiranjit is on Twitter as Chiranjit Oja. I'm on Twitter as Matthew94. It's SIJU if you really want to find me on Twitter. It's not C for somebody who did find me like that. Now you can also follow the TFG football Twitter handle for all the updates that you want to know about Indian football. Also read up all the stories that we spoke about on our website, thefangraphs.com. Do catch us for the live updates during the match. Now have a great weekend. Enjoy the match. Come back to us. We will give you all the updates that's happening in football the coming week. Enjoy the weekend, guys. Cheers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.